dead meme.
Hey guys, we're covering more Xsotan relics today. We're looking at XSTN-II. So it's the second one that's available. It's done through the research station. We're going to jump straight in. This is a real easy one, so hopefully it's short and sweet. So the upside to this particular mission is you could do this at any research station. They're typically not too hard to find. Most factions have a couple of them in their territory. But if you're having some trouble, you can narrow it down. You can go up here and start typing in research. And as you can see, I've got one highlighted here, and one here, and one, well, that's a Rift Research Center, so don't ignore that one. But these two are typical research centers. So I did a video on these. They're pretty easy to understand. Typically, you'll need to dock in order to access them in this fashion, but I've got transporter software and that sort of thing. So what you're going to need to actually accomplish this mission, you're going to need 3 purple grade subsystems, not weapons or mining tools or anything like that. It must be a subsystem of purple grade, 3 of them. And that will give you the legendary artifact you're looking for. So if you're done, I guess you can take off and leave me a like, hopefully. I'm going to keep going and talk a bit about how you could use this station to your advantage. One of the viewers has pointed out that if you're going to research in bulk, it's probably best to do only 3, because you'll get more rolls. So in a bulk fashion, yeah, I agree. You're likely going to get a more better results from your materials if you only go with 3. I'm a touch risk adverse, so I typically like to at least put 4 in, right? So it just really depends on you, right? And we have some other individuals who have pointed out that carriers that I displayed in a previous video, I'm using the AI subsystem. And that basically gives you free pilots that are basically unlimited. There is a large downside to that piece of hardware, though. The pilots that are deployed are considered rookies, so they're less likely to avoid damage and evade and actually get all of that work done that you would expect an experienced pilot to do, like doing more damage and dodging and things like that. So it's something that you should be keeping in mind. It's not that these subsystems shouldn't be used. I think you should save them for your mining carriers that you automate and send off. Your ships in the direct combat, don't use that subsystem. It's definitely not as good. The replacement cost for fighters, for minerals and time, it's absurd. So, thanks for pointing that out, guys. That is very important. I'll briefly just go over the research station one more time. If you fill up all the slots with a similar item, you have a 100% chance of re-rolling to a higher grade, so like a purple. In this state, it's 80%. If you go down one more, it's 60. I don't believe you can go down any further. I've never really tried. So I'm getting a better shield generator in this case. And with this one, I can do the same thing. I'm getting a higher quality. And you can do this and push it straight up, right to the highest quality levels, right? So one thing we should probably also talk about, how do you get so many subsystems? So luckily here, this is my salvage ship. It's a little clunky, and it's got a crew of salvage fighters. So Ognite, they're able to salvage any vessel that I would encounter and be able to acquire the metals without destroying them. Because like mining, if you don't use a high quality, like if you use a titanium laser to try and harvest a trinium ship, you're not going to get anything. It destroys the material, and the vast majority of it is lost. So there is something I've noticed at a personal level playing this game, that any vessels that are being salvaged while the game has them loaded, they are significantly more likely to drop subsystems. So let's see if there's any subsystems in the sector. Any wreckages in the sector. And I'll let you take a look at it. So this is a what would you call it? It's anecdotal experience. But hopefully, I'll probably just clip right to it, and you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, my ships are all over some wreckage in the sector, and they're collecting a great deal of Ognite, which is fantastic. And there's a subsystem. There's another. Well, that one was a weapon. Some of this is Xsotan technology fragments, which is something we'll talk about later. That's to progress the storyline. But as you can see, with all this wreckage here, especially in sectors where you are doing a great deal of combat, or the NPCs are engaged with the Xsotan or another faction, you could really cash in, right? But of course, there's some caveats to this. Don't do this in a scrapyard sector without buying a license from the scrapyard, because they'll attack you. And as you can see, like, I've just gotten 3 subsystems, so like you're not necessarily going to have access to this kind of ship when you decide to run a salvage operation, but I do recommend building some sort of salvage vessel. Another tip from here, I could leave and pilot another vessel or do whatever, because this sector will remain loaded and this will kind of keep going on. Now, I imagine it changes the rules. I'm not one of those spreadsheet guys who figures out like the exact... That's not for me, right? Min-maxers, you guys love that stuff, and I'm gonna let you walk that walk and, you know, make us all better players. But hopefully this was some useful tips for you, and we can shill our other videos. If you look in the top left there, I am doing relatively well when it comes to the currency game. So I've got plenty of credits, plenty of minerals. I'm going to put down in the description some videos and a playlist that will show you how I accomplish this. I'm playing on a server, so that does play a role. When my friends are online, the Alliance is making money even while I'm in bed. So that's pretty cool. But again, thanks for showing up, and I'll see you all again later.